Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Takeaway Tip Tuesday. It is Tuesday, April 10th, 2018. I'm your host, Ramona Remisat, intuitive guidance coach, speaker, and author, and I'm so happy to have you join in for this episode. As you can see, though, I'm not in Barbados anymore. Hey Priya, nice to have you here. Not in Barbados anymore. This is the next best thing I have to greenery right now because it's still snowy here in Calgary. I know that's so gross. Hey, Christy, nice to have you here too. You guys feel free to pop, as you're popping in, let me know who's on, where you're from, don't be shy. But today's episode was actually inspired by something that happened to me in Barbados. And what that was I was frolicking in the ocean one day, playing in the waves, and just got pummeled by this one wave. It didn't even seem that big, but it kind of just came up. And as soon as it started to come up, I'm like, I'm not getting to the other side of this. I grabbed my sunglasses and took a big breath, and whack, it hit me, and it was like being in the spin cycle of your washing machine, tossed all around. Came up sputtering, and I was like, whoa, that was kind of scary actually. And that got me thinking later on about these surfers. You ever see these surf competitions, and these surfers are surfing these massive waves. They're just like towering above them. And I thought, that's gotta be terrifying. Like, why would somebody, do that? But obviously for the surfers, there's something super exhilarating in that. So it's kind of like they're balancing themselves between this fear and this exhilaration. And then that got me kind of thinking more about what happens to a lot of us, where we get a spark of something, an idea, something that we want to do, but then the fear comes up, and then people are like, so is this fear like a sign that I'm not supposed to do this? How do I know if the fear that I'm feeling is because it's truly a no-go, or is it just my ego trying to keep me in my comfort zone, right? And that's a question I get asked almost all the time. It's like a very, very popular one, especially with entrepreneurs, because as you're building a business, there's a lot of times that you have to step out of your comfort zone and move in a direction maybe you haven't done before, and there is a lot of fear and apprehension there. And it's like, so how do I know? And if you have to put some money behind something, that amps up the fear even more. So I wanted to kind of clarify some of this for you today and give you some tips on how you can differentiate between real and false guidance, or like what that real guidance looks like versus your fears, and kind of cover that off. So the first thing is that when I call it kind of, that fear is the head-heart tug-of-war, right? It's like you get a spark of something and it hits you in your heart. You're like, oh yeah, this is awesome. I love this idea. I totally want to do this. And then your head kicks in and starts to tell you all the reasons why you can or you shouldn't or whatever. And you kind of go in this tug-of-war back and forth between your heart and your head. So before you kind of, sit down and figure out what's real, what's not, the key is to kind of go in and uncover that spark of where this idea came from, right? And when you're looking at that, you will see that when it's real guidance, that is a mature feeling, right? That it's like a motivational coach saying, you've got this, you can do that. That's what that inner spark felt like to you when you first got that idea. It was like, yeah, you can do this, you've got it. And it was motivating you and getting you kind of fired up about it, right? It had a loving energy to it, a supportive energy to it, right? Whereas false guidance would feel more like, what do I want to say? It reduces your confidence, right? It makes you question, your abilities and your skills and things like that. It reduces your enthusiasm to move forward with that. So that's step one, is does that feeling, that initial spark that you had, does it feel kind of mature? Does it feel supportive? Does it feel loving and guiding? The second way that you can tell real from false guidance is that if it's real, it is going to be consistent, right? I always say guidance repeats. It's not going to let you off the hook with a one-time kind of nudge or a two-time kind of nudge. It's going to keep coming over and over again. And so if you have that consistent feeling of, I need to write this book, or I need to move, leave my job and start something new, or whatever it might be, and it's there all the time, then you kind of know, even though, again, like I said, there could be fear around that. You're like, I don't know what I should write a book about, or, oh my God, what if I quit my job and I can't support myself, or what, there's some apprehension and fear there though, that's okay, as long as that underlying feeling, again, has that good feeling to it and feels reassuring, and that this is something consistent. False guidance kind of skips around. You might feel like doing this on Monday and that on Wednesday and that on another day, and it's kind of similar to that what we call in the entrepreneurial world as the bright shiny object syndrome, right? Where you're pulled all over the place, you're like, oh, I should do this, oh, I should do that, right? And it's kind of got you bouncing around all over the place. If it is truly something you're being guided to do, it's going to be consistent. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And third tip is true guidance is really about helping others. So as long as you're being nudged to move forward in a way that's going to help you uncover and fulfill your purpose, again, there still might be hesitancy around there. You're like, I don't know, I never did this before. What about this? And the what ifs and all of that. That's natural. Those questions are natural because especially if you haven't done something before, there will be some hesitation there or some fear, right? But, as I said, if it's drawing you forward to fulfill your purpose or uncover what that purpose is, then you can be assured that's coming from your real guidance, not from whatever. False guidance would be like, don't even try it, right? Again, those fears and things like that kind of like, that are limiting, that maybe have a prickly or cold energy and don't feel supportive, versus what I said, the loving and the guiding kind of feeling behind that inner spark that gave you this idea in the first place, right? So that's some key ways that you can differentiate that, and I hope that makes sense. I don't know if any of you have any questions. If this is feeling helpful, please give me a thumbs up or some hearts, let me know. But like I said, this is something a lot of people get hung up on, right? Because you do get that spark and immediately, almost like right on the heels of that head's kicking in and the fear is there and it's telling you, all the reasons why you can't do that or all the reasons why you shouldn't do it. And like I said, a lot of people go, is this a sign? So here's a couple extra resources that I want to give to you around this. One is that obviously this is something that we're going to be going into way more depth in my retreat coming up, Connect to the Power Within, happening June 8th to the 10th. So there are still a few spots left. I'll put the link below, but it's connecttothepowerwithin.com. Please check that out. If it speaks to you, reach out to me. We can chat further, especially if you have any questions around that. But we'd love to have you there if this is an area that you're ready to move forward in developing, to really understand how to access your guidance, fully understand it so you can use that to take action and move your life forward. Then that's something that, like I said, is going to help you do that. The other thing is this whole realm of signs, right? I got a sign about this, I got a sign about that. Well, there's a lot of questions around that too. Let me tell you, it's probably the next thing I get asked the most about. So I'm actually going to be having a masterclass coming up towards the end of the month, all about how to understand this world of signs, angel signs. How do I ask for a sign? How do I know I'm deciphering a sign correctly? What do I do if I don't understand the sign? It makes no sense to me whatsoever. All of those questions that people have, that they're like, I don't know what this is all about. I'm going to uncover all of that. It's a free masterclass. So if you're interested in that, type masterclass in the comment box, and then I will, as the details emerge, I will make sure that you are in the loop on what's going on with that. If you know other people that have questions around that too and would like more information, get them to come on here and type in as well masterclass, and then I can get them in the loop as well, so we don't leave them out, because like I said, that's a big area of it's kind of a mystery zone for a lot of people. They're like, I don't know how to decipher any of this stuff, or what that means. So I found a penny, okay, great, or I found a feather, all right, or what do these mean? And maybe I get something and it just, I don't know what the heck that's all about. So I'm gonna share that with you guys. So I hope that felt helpful, and wanted to keep this short and sweet. I'm trying to not take up too much time because I know everybody's time is precious, but I wanted to give you those tips. So thank you for tuning in, and if this was helpful to you and you think it's helpful to somebody else, please share it out. I would really appreciate that. Let's spread the word. And that's it, guys. So thanks so much for tuning in, Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you back here next Tuesday for another episode of Takeaway Tip Tuesday. See you soon.